Hello, Corey here. In this video, I want to explain to you why I am no longer carnivore. So back in 2017, I reached my all-time highest weight of 245 pounds. I was at the time, let me see, 6 years ago, well, I was 54 because I just turned 60 this year in 2023. So I was 54 years old. I reached approximately 245 pounds. And as you can see, I was pretty unhealthy. So over the next 6 years, from 2017 to 2023, or actually 2022 really, I basically went through a period of yo-yo dieting and yo-yo exercising. People don't talk much about yo-yo exercising, but I think it is a thing. And if I've done this for a long time now, yo-yo exercise, like, go on an exercise thing, do it a couple months and then quit. Do that and then don't start again for like another year. And I would do this with diets and with exercise. Anyway, I managed to get my weight down from 245 down to around 200, maybe 205. By the way, I'm 5'7". So 205, 200 was still very, very much too much for me on my frame. I think my goal was 180 or maybe 175. So 2023 came, and January 2023, I came to the hard realization that, okay, I'm turning 60 this year. I need to do something like not yo-yo anymore with the diet or the exercise, kind of like stick to it. So, and this is one reason why I could never get below 200 pounds was, I don't know, I just ate too much. just it's quite simple. I just ate too much. I was like a garbage can. Every time I'd go in the kitchen, I'd eat. Well, anyway, I've experimented, with cutting down calories and that sort of thing. Nothing worked. But then I thought, well, I'll give the keto diet a try, ketogenic or carnivore or something like that. I had previously been skeptical of low-carb diets, but I think this is my last resort. If I want to get below 200, I'm just gonna try this. So I went on a ketogenic diet, a very low-carb diet at the beginning of 2023, and I sustained that for a good probably 5 months or so, 5 or maybe 6 months, and it was very successful. Actually, I ate probably on a typical day 50 or less grams of carbs a day. Very rarely would I go over 100, but I always kept it down in the double digits, my carb intake, and it works. I mean, it definitely works. I lost from over the course of probably 5 months. I lost probably a good, I think the most I lost about 25 pounds. I was, let's say if we take a starting point of 200, that was sort of my starting point. And then I reached 195. When I reached 195, that was my official start date of my exercise program. So this photo now here from when I was 195, that's from March 26th. So I was just sort of new. I was sort of on my 3rd month of doing the keto diet. I had got down to 195, which was quite an accomplishment for me because I had never been able to get much under 200. It was hard for me. And so cutting out the carbs really, really helped with me, getting my weight down. Then in May, a couple months later in May, I made it down to 175. So I made my goal weight. And this is what I looked like then in May 3rd. So I went from March at 195 down to 175. So basically 20 pounds in just a couple months time. Very successful. The keto diet works for weight loss. Then I thought, well, you know, okay, keto does this, carnivore is probably better. So I started trying to cut out all the carbs and only eat meat and butter and eggs and that sort of thing. And I was, you know, it was successful. And then I made my carnivore diet video actually a few months ago. And I was raving about it. I thought I'm going to do carnivore for the rest of my life. This is great. I feel so great. But I had not really started my exercise program yet, or I had not really been fully saturated in my exercise program, which consists of resistance training and some cardio also. Not too much cardio, but more resistance training. And once I started to really start exercising a lot, like a lot, like 3 times more than I was, and I was getting sore. My muscles were getting sore from working out. I began to also follow along the way, during those months' time, I started following other influencers that aren't necessarily on the keto carnivore side. So I opened my mind up a little bit, and I started to venture out and listen to what other experts had to say. Experts such as Dr. Layne Norton, who I credit with having changed my mind about the carnivore diet. So I thank you very much, Dr. Norton, if you happen to be watching this video. Anyway, after watching many of Dr. Norton's videos, I came to the conclusion that, gosh, you know, maybe this isn't so great after all. Maybe I should just try counting my calories. So I had previously been, you know, sort of an enemy of calorie counting before. I thought it didn't do anything. You know, I was sort of brainwashed by the keto carnivore camp that counting calories doesn't do anything, calories don't matter, you know, that thing, that sort of thing. And then, well, I thought, well, let me do an experiment. So when I started my exercise program, you know, I kept hearing from experts that you really do need carbs for your muscles. I know we don't have to have carbs to survive, but optimally, you know, at least from my understanding, from what the experts say, that we need carbs for muscle maintenance and muscle repair. Not just protein, but we need carbs also. So cutting the carbs out, you're really limiting yourself if you're interested in muscle maintenance and muscle growth. Or at least that's what I took out of this by doing my little research venture on YouTube and finding these experts such as Dr. Layne Norton. So I thought, well, I'm going to do an experiment then. I'm going to start tracking my calories and tracking my macros. So I downloaded Chronometer on my computer, and this was in June. I think sort of maybe late June or so. I began tracking my calories, like religiously, like writing everything down that I eat and trying to calculate how many calories I eat in a day. And it sort of opened my eyes up a little bit as to what I was putting into my body. And now I've sort of morphed towards more of a traditional bodybuilder style diet of relatively high, you know, medium to high protein, moderate amount of carbs, and try to reduce the fat, you know, not no fat, but really try to reduce the fat. So I think I've reduced my fat dramatically since my keto carnivore days. Look who's visiting me. Look who's saying good morning. Hello, good morning, Cookie. This is Cookie. How old is she? 6-month-old Boston Terrier, Cookie. Anyway, thanks for saying hi, Cookie. All right, see ya. So anyway, I started tracking my calories, and this went hand in hand with my workout routines. By tracking my calories, I really was able to assess, what I'm putting to my body, and whether it's making me gain or lose weight, or make my weight maintained at the same level. So one reason why I chose not to do the carnivore diet anymore was this reason, because I think we need carbs if you're interested in muscle growth and maintenance. Another reason is, I'll just admit it, I simply love cooking. I love cooking and I love the taste of food. So I don't want to have to restrict myself. I don't want to have to cut things out. When I was fully carnivore, I was always thinking about these things I can't eat, like these delicious dishes that I can't eat anymore. And it started bothering me that, I don't think we were intended to just be carnivores. I think we were created to eat all types of food, to be omnivores. So I really think we're omnivores. I don't think we're carnivores. Another reason why I changed and ditched the carnivore diet was my marriage was a little affected in those early days. I had some arguments with my wife, and disagreements with my wife about the carnivore diet. She was really opposed to it, and I was raving about it. I said, look what it's done. I've lost 20 pounds, and I feel so great and everything. And she would refuse to do it. I wanted her to do it with me, but she refused. And I said, oh, well, okay. So I kept doing it. And then I finally woke up and smelled the coffee and realized, hey, maybe, after I started watching Lane Norton's videos, I started thinking, well, maybe it isn't so good after all. I don't know everything. Not everybody knows everything. But at least, if you watch Dr. Norton's videos, he takes a very objective approach. He's not necessarily opposed to any or approve of any one particular diet, but he says as long as it fits in with your caloric needs and your macros, it's okay to cheat now and then, to have a piece of pizza or to have a piece of cake every now and then. It's not a big deal. And another reason, this leads to the thing of demonizing foods. The more I think about it, the more I think that the carnivore diet is like a cult. They're just demonizing food. Like, Paul Saladino, I know that he's not considered fully carnivore by the real carnivore people because he eats fruit and honey. But, Paul Saladino, he goes into grocery stores and makes fun of people for eating vegetables and wears these stupid shirts, kale is bullshit and that kind of stuff, and making people feel guilty about eating vegetables, and going in there with no shirt. Who goes into a grocery store with no shirt and shoes and then starts ragging about people eating vegetables? I mean, this is like a psycho. So, the more I see stuff like that, the more I think this is like a cult. This is like ridiculous. So I admit I was wrong. I admit the carnivore diet was a good thing for a little bit of time, for maybe a few months, and then I had to move on and do something else now, because I don't think the carnivore diet is fully, I don't think it's fully appropriate if you're interested in muscle growth and muscle maintenance. I'm 60 years old and I want to gain muscle. I don't care about losing any more weight now. I don't care about losing any more fat, really. I'm just concerned about gaining muscle. And if I restrict carbs, I don't think I will be able to gain as much muscle as if I include carbs in my diet. That's why I've chosen a traditional, more of a traditional bodybuilder style diet of moderate to high protein, moderate carbs, and relatively low fat. So I've done a total 180. Also, I eat a lot more fiber now. I was brainwashed into believing fiber was bad for you, and you know, it's going to cause all these problems. You're going to die from fiber, and it's going to lead to constipation and everything. Well, I haven't had that problem. I eat a lot of fiber now, and it hasn't had any detrimental effects on me. And in fact, I think it makes me feel more full, and I feel totally great with this new diet. So I know that I raved about the carnivore diet a few months ago, and I thought, oh, I'm going to do this the rest of my life. But I changed my mind, and I admit I was wrong. And so thank you for watching this video, and I will keep you updated as to how I am progressing on my current diet and exercise program. So thank you for viewing this video.